All right, hello everyone. Good morning, good evening, depending on what type of day it is. We have just finished the Middle Eastern geography, and today we're going to go ahead and begin the Sub-Saharan Africa geography. Our learning objective is today I will learn about the physical features that make up Sub-Saharan Africa, so I can prepare, study, and display knowledge of Africa's geography to complete assignments and pass quizzes. I know I had them when I can have open discussions with my teacher, peers, and family about information that will be used to grow.
This is Earth. Maybe you've heard of it. I sure hope so, because you live on one of its 7 continents. Guess which continent is the hottest? That's right, you guessed it, Africa. Africa is home to the largest desert in the world, the Sahara. It's massive. Its total area spans over 3 million square miles. It's the size of an entire country. Seriously, it's almost the size of the United States. But Africa isn't all sand and dunes, not by a long shot. A little ways south of the Sahara is the Congo Rainforest. It's the second largest rainforest in the world, and it's full of life. Mammals, birds, amphibians, and close to 10,000 species of plants. Let's take a quick trip to the African Savanna to check out all the wildlife. This tropical grassland covers almost 65% of Africa. And where there's grass, there are herbivores, also known as plant eaters. Zebras, elephants, giraffes, and gazelles all graze off the land in large herds for safety, because these herbivores live alongside predators. The big cats aren't the only carnivores in town. Crocodiles roam near the banks of the shore. Hyenas and wild dogs also roam this continent in search of their next meal. Millions of people come to visit the savanna every year to see these amazing animals in their natural habitat, rain or shine. Because the savanna has only 2 seasons, wet and dry. It's not just wildlife that lives here. There's another animal who shares this beautiful continent. Humans. It's hard to believe that one of the oldest civilizations on Earth began in Africa, in ancient Egypt to be exact, dating back over 5,000 years. Today, there are over 1 billion people living on the continent of Africa, in 56 different countries, speaking over 1,500 languages, living in large cities and small villages. All are residents of the second largest continent on Earth, Africa.
All right, so here on this map, we know that this is Africa. Africa is the world's second largest continent, roughly 11,700,000 miles. It is home to 52 countries, 1,000 different languages, and 800 million people. 10% of the world's population lives in Africa. The vast African continent has almost every type of landform and climate. Africa can be divided into several regions, including the Sahara, the Sahel, the savannas, and the tropical rainforest. We're not expecting you to remember all the countries you see on this map about Africa, but we would like for you to remember at least 7 of these countries. So at this time, go ahead and take out your pen and paper, because these 7 countries will be key to your quiz that will be coming up in the coming week or so. So those 7 countries are the Democratic Republic of Congo, Egypt, Kenya, Nigeria, South Africa, Sudan, and South Sudan. A number of factors influence the climate of the African continent. First, most of the continent, which extends from 35 degrees south to about 37 degrees north latitude, lies within the tropics. Second, the nearby section of the continent by the equator results in a largely symmetrical arrangement of climate zones on either side. By looking at this map, we can see that the rainforest is right in the center of Africa, followed by the savanna to its north and south. And at the far top and the far bottom, we have the desert the desert, which is probably the most hottest part of the country. So, what is the Sahara? The Sahara is the world's largest hot desert, and we should know that from our previous lesson, right? It runs across the width of northern Africa and covers one third of the continent. It divides the continent into two distinct regions, which is North Africa and the Sub-Saharan Africa. The Sahara, is covered with sand dunes, rocky hills, and stretches of gravel that continue for miles and miles. Very few people live in the desert because it is considered one of the harshest places to live in the world. The people who do live there are called nomads. They move from place to place, usually traveling by camel, looking for food and water. Then we have the Sahel. The Sahel is a strip of dry grassland that is located south of the Sahara and north of the equator that separates the desert from tropical rainforest. The word Sahel means border or margin. It is a dry, semi-arid region that is slowly turning into desert. It gets most of its rainfall than it gets more rainfall than the desert does, but still receives very little, ranging anywhere from 60 to 20 inches. The Sahel is relatively flat with few mountains and hills. People have tried to live here, but generations of overgrazing and desertification have caused soil erosion. Vegetation is sparse here, and grasses and shrubs are unevenly distributed. The African savannas are hot, dry grasslands that are located near the equator and cover almost half of Africa. They actually cover the region just north and south of the rainforests that lie along the equator. The African savanna is the largest in the world, roughly over 4.5 million square miles. There is a large variety of wildlife in the African savannas, including lions, zebras, and elephants. Farming is good here as well, but only if there is good rainfall. Grasses and grains like wheat, oats, and sorghum grow in the region. The area receives enough rain to support drought resistance undergrowth, but not enough to support forest type vegetation. Grasses are tall and thick, while trees are short and scattered. Tropical rainforest. Africa's tropical rainforest is located along the central coast of Africa near the equator and lies in the Congo River basin. The rainforest covers one-fifth of the land surface of Africa and touches 37 countries. The rainforest has a hot, humid climate with an annual rainfall of over 17 feet. Africa's tropical rainforest is home to a large variety of animals. Trees are so thick and tall that sunlight never reaches the forest floor. The trees grow hundreds of feet tall. It's the second largest rainforest in the world, and we should know what the largest rainforest in the world, right? The Amazon River. I'm sorry, the Amazon rainforest, which is located in Brazil. Unfortunately, about 90% of this rainforest has shrunk due to deforestation. The Congo River. The Congo River is located in West Central Africa. It begins in Central Africa near Lake Tanganyika and flows west. It crosses the equator twice and is surrounded by rainforest. The Congo River is the second largest river in Africa and the fifth longest river in the world. It's over 3,000 miles long. The Niger River. The Niger River is located in Western Africa. It flows through Guinea, Mali, Niger, Benin, and Nigeria. The Niger River is the third largest river in Africa. It runs from 2,600 miles. The mouth of the Niger River flows through a large delta, often referred to as the oil delta, because of the petroleum industry that's centered there. And here, folks, we have the Nile River. Um, for those of you, we all should know pretty much a lot about the Nile River, as we have talking about this for our last 2.5 units. So the Nile River is located in Eastern Africa. It starts in the mountain of Central Africa and flows northward through Eastern Africa and empties into the Mediterranean Sea. The Nile is the world's longest river at 4,132 miles. And the Nile River provides water for Sudan and Egypt. It's an important waterway for transporting people and goods. The Nile also provides a source of irrigation for agriculture. All right, folks, then we have Lake Tanga and Naika. I hope I said that correct. This lake is located in Central Africa between Tanzania and Congo in the Great Rift Valley. Lake Tanganyika is the longest lake in the world. It is the deepest lake in Africa and the second deepest in the world. It's also one of the world's largest freshwater lakes. Lake Victoria. Lake Victoria is the largest lake in Africa and the second largest freshwater lake in the world. Lake Superior is the largest. It's located in Central Africa and extends into 3 countries, Tanzania, Uganda, and Kenya. Lake Victoria is a headwaters reservoir for the Nile River. Even though it is shallow, Lake Victoria is vital in supporting the millions of people that live nearby. It provides a living for many fishermen and attracts millions of tourists each year. The Atlas Mountains. The Atlas Mountains are a mountain range in North Africa. The mountains extend from Morocco to Tunisia between the Mediterranean Sea and the Sahara Desert. They separate the northern coastal regions from the Sahara Desert. Now, the Atlas Mountains, we've also seen this as part of our lesson in Europe, so we should be a little bit familiar with what the Atlas Mountains are. Next, we have the Kalahari Desert. The Kalahari Desert is a large, arid and semi-arid sandy area that is located in southwestern Africa. It covers part of Botswana, Namibia, and South Africa. Its dunes range from 20 to 200 feet high and can be 50 miles long. The region is surrounded by semi-arid areas that are slowly becoming more dry due to desertification. The Kalahari Desert is not a true desert because it receives 3 to 10 inches of rain per year. And because of the precipitation and underground water supplies, grass and shrubs and wild animals manage to live in the Kalahari Desert.
What do you think of when you hear the word Africa? Do you picture the great savannas with lions and zebras? What about the people who live there? Africa is the second largest continent in the world, and it's absolutely full of people. There are 47 different countries in Africa, and each of them have different cultures and people who live there. If you had a chance to visit Africa, you would probably be surprised to see what it's really like. There's more there than just the savanna. You'll find forests, deserts, mountains, and mighty rivers too. You can also see both small villages and huge modern cities dotted everywhere. The weather changes drastically depending on where you are. It can be scorching hot in the desert, but freezing in the mountaintops nearby. The people who live in Africa are just as diverse or different as the land. A long time ago, all over Africa, there were many different tribes who developed separate from each other. Because these tribes didn't interact very much, they developed their own languages and history. Today, there are hundreds of different languages still spoken in Africa. There are almost 900 million people living there, and it's one of the fastest growing places in the world. Every person born in Africa has their ethnicity determined by the language their mother speaks. Sadly, the people of Africa are very, very poor. But as time goes on, things are getting better for everyone living there. Africans have changed the world in many wonderful ways. Do you enjoy rock and roll music or jazz? Then you can thank the people of Africa. How about some nice barbecue ribs? Yum, 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 tasty. People used to throw away that meat, but Africans figured out a way to turn it into something special. In the 1700s, many of the ancestors of the African Americans here in the United States were brought here as slaves. Slaves are people who are forced to work jobs they don't like and are owned by other people. It's horrible, but across the world and in every culture, people used to own slaves. The United States was no exception when the country was created. Slavery is one of the worst things people have ever done to each other. But it's not all bad news. You'll notice there aren't any more slaves in the United States anymore. 100 years ago, multiple wars were fought to try and stop the practice of slavery. Thanks to the sacrifice of thousands of people, slavery is a thing of the past here in America and many other parts of the world. But there's still work to be done to free other people who are still enslaved.
And in conclusion, this is pretty much all I have for today. We've talked about the different characteristics that make up Africa, from countries, climate, mountains, and bodies of water. Africa is a unique country in its own way. Remember to keep your notes, and it's very important because, like always, it will be useful for your upcoming quiz. Again, that's all I have for today, guys. Now turn your attention to your teacher, and you all have a good day.